So I found a spiritual master, I found you, and 3 years ago I began to research the topic about austerity. And because of your blessings and Mother Golgora Chandrika, it happened that my life, all these 8 years and 3 last years especially, it's changing. And I'm not only one who is going to the Lord, but thousands of people are following me. And I know perfectly that it's not me, it's just the mercy of those who are praying for me and who are supporting me. And today, many people, they are approaching me for some knowledge and for blessings, and I always turn them to you. And today, I ask you to shed light on this wonderful topic, which became for me the topic of my life. For the last 3 years, I'm learning what is austerity, is it working, why should we perform austerities, and I started to talk that austerity is is the only way to the Lord inside of us, to find Him. 13th of March, I started the course about austerity, and all the 300 participants, they are listening to the knowledge that I got. And I take this knowledge from you, from those who are standing on this path for so long. And today it will be very valuable to hear your answers. So austerity is always a voluntary path, is a voluntary choice of a person. I want to understand what destroys a person who is searching for the Lord. Yes, it's a good topic, really. It's an important topic, very useful topic. It's very important to discuss it together with many people who are searching for answers, for truth. Not those who are just arguing, but those who are really interested seriously. And austerity is the essence of the human's life. Sensual pleasures, this is the opposite of austerity, and they destroy the soul. They pollute it. This lust, greed, and all the such qualities, the tendency to enjoy our senses. It destroys us because we do it for ourselves, for our own satisfaction, for our fame, for our wealth, for our profit. But austerity is something very valuable, though we should do it in knowledge. We should talk about it. What is the useful austerity? What's the value of this right austerity? For example, austerity starts from 5-7 years old. My austerity began in 6 years old when I started to go to school. So a child in this age, this is austerity, this is restriction, because he wanted to play, to run on the street. But he has to go to school now every day and sit 40 minutes on one lesson without move. I remember it was something impossible to sit at the desk without talking, without moving. This is austerity. Austerity to learn, but we understand that this is a good austerity, being adults. It's time, it's more valuable than just games, and that this learning is better, and everyone takes this austerity, and everyone realizes this austerity. Later, when a girl becomes adult, when this is again to keep their chastity is also their austerity. Their elders, they control her, that don't come late home, and they control her dress. Young girl doesn't like it, of course. She would like to live freely, but she understands this. But we know this is good, to keep chastity, to be a good wife later, to be a good mother. the platform of this is built in youth. And austerity of mother is evident. It's the biggest austerity, is the austerity of mother. The feelings towards her children, she cannot live without her children. She's fully plunged into their good. She is ready to help them at any moment by the price of her life. This is true. This is a great austerity and voluntary austerity. And later, it's a bigger austerity in the end. When children they grow, she has to give them to society. So she has to renounce from them, to dedicate them to the societies. This is the way of austerity, and boys also have their own austerities. Discipline at school, army is also a big austerity, but everyone knows that it builds a strong character, and men, they need this austerity. For example, to become healthier, we also take some diet, some restrictions of a doctor. We need some austerity to be healthy. So we say, please keep some restrictions. Don't eat meat, fish, and eggs. Please leave all intoxications and illegal sex, and life will become easier, and life will be happier. At the beginning, it will be something unusual, especially if a person has habits for intoxication, but it will form the intelligence. If you would win yourself, you will get higher. This is natural things in life. Will necessarily meet some austerities. But yogis, they don't wait for austerities, they perform it voluntarily. They know how to do it before, when time will come. This is yoga. These austerities, they are prescribed in Vedas. They control feelings, they control senses. What happens when we have to go to school, or when we have to keep chastity, to get married, to grow children? This is the control of our senses. I wanted to do something, but I need to do what I have to do. Why should I get married? Because this is austerity. This is the needed austerity. Because without marriage, the man would communicate with many women. This is a sensory pleasure, illegal sex. When he gets married, he cannot just go wherever he wants. His wife won't let him, and also wife cannot walk everywhere. So this austerity, control of the senses. For somebody it's voluntary, for somebody it's just a person has to take some austerities when some miseries come. After some for example, after a crime, a person goes to prison, and this is not voluntary austerity. But voluntary austerity doesn't give you sufferings. For example, if you are fasting in St. Petersburg during World War II, it's one thing, but if you are voluntarily keeping some fast, it's different. It's yoga, and it keeps our health strong, and also keeps character strong. But Vedas, they say, don't take demoniac austerities, don't torture yourself. Austerity must be in a mode of goodness, for a healthy of body and for the health of our soul. Guru Maharaj is wonderful. I heard for the first time this austerity, that chastity and school are also austerities, and austerities in a prison and during the war. I will have a lot of questions because I'm researching this topic and I'm sharing this topic with people. And now you have widened my horizon, my notion about austerity. Once I heard from Keshav Maharaj that the most difficult austerity is to follow the instructions of one's spiritual master. What what main 3 instructions you could give your disciples? Every disciple knows this. The main thing is to chant the holy name, 16 rounds on beads, each disciple. This is the minimum for every disciple. It's about 1 hour and a half or 2 hours every day. If we have to wake up early before sunrise, we have to wash ourselves, take a bath, and then take the beads, and we chant our 16 rounds, and we do it in meditation. This is the most important thing. Another important thing is to spread spiritual knowledge, those knowledge that we get from this meditation. We should spread this knowledge. Some great things are revealing in the heart of a person. Don't keep it to yourself. You should distribute it, even to those who don't understand us. We should give a chance to everyone. They would understand it later. Don't think that it's impossible. Maybe a person reject this knowledge just at some circumstances, but later he would understand. This is just a question of his attention. Some people, they say that I don't even want to hear about it. It's just not their time. When they would meet some austerity in their life, they would turn to this knowledge. It's quite easy. If you want it, it's very easy. So please distribute and then chant the holy name, spread the holy name, and spread the knowledge which you get during meditation. And also treat all living beings with kindness. So these are my instructions. I was talking about it on my course. It's very difficult to be austere nowadays. I was talking about what saved my life and how I found you, that I found mantra, the secret, and just these more than 200 people, they asked me beads, and me and my husband, we were sending beads to different people, and they started to chant Maha Mantra. This is such a happiness. I see that you're also smiling, and I'm happy that I'm following your instructions, that the Lord is sharing this mercy. And people, they understand that the secret of happiness is so simple. There is a spiritual master and the Lord, and it's enough. And also, as you said, that yogis, they don't wait for suffering, they take voluntary austerity. I just want people to, so that they would come to inspiration, to find themselves and to find God. And I'm sharing my revelations on this course. And another question is, I would read a Bengali proverb. On my course, I said that my austerity is to reject poverty. And I was asked, how is it? What is it? Bengali proverb says that if a person has intelligence, then he has money. And in the 6th canto, poverty is a vice which destroys all good qualities in a person. I would like you to comment on this, because it is considered that spiritual path is poverty. Is it true? There is a notion of poverty. You should understand it correctly. When I was researching Bhagavata Purana, this word poverty has 2 meanings in Sanskrit. There is a material poverty and spiritual poverty. So spiritual poverty leads to sufferings. You see that people, they may be rich and they suffer. Why? They have money. From many people who has some material resources, but they don't feel happiness. They don't emanate happiness. They are reserved. They are hiding something. They become individualists. They become selfish. They become greedy and suspective. Why? Because they are poor by spirit. They can't use this richness to become happiness. They don't know how to do it. They have this attachment to money. This miser knight, he was piling some riches, but he was so he was such a miser that he was just keeping them, and he was very poor from outside. And such life is like poverty. He's not rich, he's just guarding his own money. But maybe some people, they're simple, but they're happy. And so they are rich by their soul. They are free. There is such a book, Prince and Pauper, two brothers, twins. They were divided at their birth, and one has become a prince, another has become a pauper. But these are two twins. And when they met, the prince was dreaming about freedom of a pauper, and the pauper was dreaming about being rich. But they were not satisfied, because the idea is that to be rich as a prince and free as a pauper. This is the harmonious combination. So when a person doesn't have a feeling of possession, he becomes rich. The whole world is his home, because attachment is restricting us. But the whole world is ours. We know just how to live it, and we shouldn't be attached to some place, to some flat, to some house, to money. The meaning is to get rid of attachment. This is real wealth. And to understand that the whole world is my home and all people are my family. Maybe it sounds poetical, but this is yoga. This is we may develop such consciousness and to be rich by spirit. So a rich person is a happy person. I just wanted to ask, from which quantity of money a person is rich nowadays? It's difficult to say. Maybe 1,000 euro is okay. The minimum is 300 euro. If a person earns 1,000 and 3,000 euro, this is just this is poverty. You should spend 1 million euro every day, but if you are serving God, these thousands doesn't mean anything. You should spend 1 million every day. It is said that a spiritual person, if he gets 1 million in the morning, he spends it by the evening. And this is the rich person. It's very interesting, Guru Maharaj. I have another question. You've opened one part of this topic, austerity, to leave the poverty. But Srila Prabhupada has another another instruction that we have to become both rich and happy. And the example is King Solomon. You said that a happy person, he shares everything or engages everything in service to the Lord. I met the fact that spiritual people, they often say, why should I need money? I was also was a businesswoman, and I wanted to leave business, and you said no, please go on. And I'm trying, and I'm working on this. 6 opulences of God. He has power, influence, and wealth. And I wanted to ask you to tell about this, because many people, they think that I am poor and not often happy. But if a person becomes engaging his karma, if he didn't use it before, for example, a child of 5 or 7 years old, son of a rich father, in this age, a father wouldn't give him big money, him just giving some cents for ice cream. Maybe he would give $5–10 for his birthday. I don't know. But no one would give a child a big sum of money. But this child is not poor. You see, he is a son of a rich father. So if we are souls, particles of God, we cannot be poor. We have a big legacy. We are spiritually small, and that's why no one is giving us the big resources, because we can get bewildered because of that. We may be cheated. If a child would find a 1,500 euro, I remember that there is such a, if he would take such money and he is going to buy some ice cream, and he is asking, and this shopkeeper would say that yes, you can get even 2 ice creams, because the child doesn't realize what he has in his hands. And our life, our human life, is a very expensive instrument in the nature. Human being has such a resource, such a potency, such an intelligence. But we are spending this on some sense enjoyment. We are watching movies, we are building houses, buying cars, keeping money. So we live like poor people, but when we grow old, but when a child knows the will of his father, then the father would give him all his legacy. So we are not poor. Our father is very, very rich. We just need to be a good children. Thank you very much. From what time, from what age should we practice austerity with children? From 5 years old, when he starts some school and discipline. But for boys, there are more severe rules. For girls, they are so milder. It's a separate topic, how to raise girls. But for boys, they must be raised in discipline. They must wake up early to keep their promises, to learn at school. There is austerity for body and for the mind. Many people today, they pay more attention to the body. It's fashionable. They perform austerities to be slim, but few people, they pay attention to find a connection with the Lord. Could you comment on this, about the austerity of the body and austerity of the mind? It doesn't matter, it can be in 3 modes of nature. For example, we may correct figure, our body, is the austerity in passion. I want to be liked by men, that's why I attend yoga classes and I try to make my waist thin, and I'm also try to keep my beauty and my youth. All women know that this is a great austerity, and they are ready to perform it to be young and beautiful. But this is an austerity in passion. We don't get anything valuable because of that, apart from a feeling that I look nice. But austerity of the body in mode of goodness, this is, for example, when you're invited to a restaurant, but you are going to the temple. So this is the holiday. There will be many friends, many food, much food, and you are invited to the restaurant, but you are going to the temple. This is the austerity of the body in the mode of goodness. You are using your legs in different way just to go to the temple. This is the austerity in the mode of goodness. This is like poison. You are missing such a holiday, but at the same time you got such a spiritual contact that you don't miss it. Austerity in the goodness is the example of Francis of Assisi. He denied his wealth. He denied all his wealth. He was very rich. His family was one of the richest in his town, but he went away. His father cursed him. He didn't even take his clothes, because his father said that you got everything from me. And he was living, he was barefoot, he was poor all the year long. But many people joined him. Many rich people joined him when they saw how happy he is. And they also felt such happiness that it was quite easy for them to live this way. This is the austerity in the mode of goodness. They get enlightenment. They were even singing and dancing when they rejected all wealth. They were dancing like crazy. No one understood them, because they were smiling and they were walking barefoot. And in the town where their rich parents lived, and people thought that they are crazy. It was cold, but they were very happy. History keeps their names and actions. All this movement of Francis of Assisi. I don't ask anyone to walk on the snow barefoot. Don't imitate such things. The meaning is different. What we are talking about? We were talking about the austerity or austerity in 3 modes. So these are austerities of body, that we are guiding our body to a right place. And instead of going to the beach, we are going to the pilgrimage. Austerity of the mind is even more important, is the most important. It means to be satisfied in all circumstances, to be balanced and happy. This is the austerity of the mind. This is goodness. Guru Maharaj, I'm so grateful to you. You helped me to understand. Today I was reading the message of one girl who was studying. She was sharing that recently her neighbors came to her. She is a vegetarian, and her neighbor came who is eating meat and drinking wine. And she was watching for some time. And their neighbors, at some point, they said that I'm watching you. You're so happy, but you don't drink, you don't eat meat. Why? And then the same case also happened with another girl from Italy. They are listening to us now. And for the first time of her life, she said that my birthday will be without alcohol and without meat. And this is the austerity, to show the way, to start from ourselves and to help our relatives to step up to the next level of purity. And I'm so happy that participants of my course, they may have various holidays and birthdays. And on Monday, they fast. We are training ourselves. We are cleaning our body, and this is infectious. People are attracted by it. It means that this is correct. I just wanted to share it with you. Recently, one woman asked me how to enjoy myself. Even if you're in austerity, how to enjoy myself? I can't even believe that people voluntarily reject meat and wine. Even normal people, they do it. Some people, but it's very difficult to do for normal people. So this is a good craziness. Hundreds and hundreds of people, they do it. It's a wonderful information, and the world is changing to the best. Another epoch is coming, because people, they are awakening to something new. Before, it was impossible. It's evident today. So the question is, we are restricting ourselves in food, we don't take meat and wine, and sexual enjoyment is restricted, and gambling are prohibited. So how to enjoy ourselves? How to feel some pleasure? We need some adrenaline, some hormones to feel happy. Yes, we need a deeper happiness. Actually, rejection we need from the things that prevent us from deeper knowledge, from deeper happiness. Only for that reason, not for restrictions, and not for the pride that I'm more pure than ourselves. This is the false enjoyment. This is the false ego is developing. Hitler felt himself a great person. He was vegetarian, but it was useless. That's why divine happiness we should feel. At least one moment. At least one moment. It would be enough to feel that your life wasn't in vain. This moment is enough. It says in Puranas that it's better to live one moment in full consciousness than thousands of years as a tree without realizing our existence. And for that moment, we are rejecting so many things, because this moment is so precious. There is something in this moment, and from this moment our real life begins, and we have memory about it, which would make us very happy. But I'm telling you that you may feel this many moments. you would have many revelations, wonderful revelations, which would give you such a strength that you would overcome all difficulties in your life, all sufferings in your life, and remain a real person. You would become spiritually great. So it's worth, this moment is worth all austerities, even this one moment. Guru Maharaj, I'm listening to you so attentively, when you started to list we are sharing the information that we don't eat meat, eggs, and also onion and garlic, coffee, tea, dirty words. Indira, you're so cruel to people. I can't be silent about it. When I've discovered it for myself, I have a need to share. Only people came to this course who were ready to change themselves. And of course, people, they have and they asking why shouldn't we eat garlic or mushrooms? Why can't we use dirty words? And we are talking about the control of the senses and about enjoyments. There is some saying that people before the death, they regret that they rejected so many things. They were working so much, didn't pay attention to the family. For example, I don't eat, I don't drink alcohol, I don't gamble. And you said that about this taste, that one moment of this taste, of higher taste, is enough. And for that, you can understand that this is the real taste, and this is what our life is for. Another question is, should we force ourselves to reject coffee? I had a low blood pressure, and I could wake up only after the coffee. But later I could do without. What is your advice? What should we do if I'm really attached to meat, to fish, to coffee and such things? What to do in such cases? Yes, if a person wants to follow these principles of purity but feels that it's very difficult to reject these things, if he chants Maha Mantra, then he would get a taste from inside and it would help him. But even in this case, he may have some fall downs and habits may be very strong. Many people that are chanting mantra and for 1 or 2 years they can't they still smoke. This is quite a rare cases, and it happens that for 1 or 2 years a person can't quit smoking or eat meat. Then we suggest them some substitutes, some artificial meat, artificial. They have similar taste, safetida instead of onion and garlic. So we may find some things in our vegetarian world. We may have a lot of different substitutes. I also advise people to ask for a mercy from the Lord, because we can't do it by ourselves. We can't do it without His help. We just should ask Him that my Lord, I can't do without your help. And those who have a spiritual master, they may ask prayers from your Guru Maharaj. We just have to develop the consciousness If you are reading Bhagavad Gita, some sacred scriptures, you chant mantras and praise, your consciousness is developing. Whatever you eat, however you live, if you contact with sacred text and think about it, your life would change. At some point you would see on the plate and you see that this is somebody on your plate, and it will be the end of your bad habit. It would happen naturally. You would just see it by your own eyes. There is another question. To perform austerities is to torture ourselves. Why the Lord need our tortures? This is not a torture. For example, you rise early. This is austerity. For somebody, this is really like a suffering. But when you woke up, you never miss it. You never regret about it. It just seems to be a torture. By the experience, you understand that this is really has a good effect. It's very difficult to begin, but you're so happy in the end. So everything is balanced, don't worry. It's wonderful. You're talking, and I am finding in my experience 1,000 times when it was true. It's such a realized experience. So you just try and you would see that it works like this. But to perform austerities, is it possible to get rid of our shortcomings because of austerity? Yes, of course. Our shortcomings, many of them, they are manifested. Some of them are in the form of a seed, and they would grow later. And with the help of austerity, you may stop these manifested shortcomings, you may control them. You may try, you'll be able to be silent instead of talking some bad things. You start to control your speech. For example, you're angry, but you don't insult anyone. You'll become a master of your speech. And these are shortcomings which are already manifested in your character, and you may control them. And moreover, those shortcomings which are in the form of the seed, they don't grow. It's so important, they wouldn't grow. You wouldn't even know about them. Look, you don't know about many things. If we would get 10,000 of euro, we would want 100,000 of euro. We would always want more, even more than 1 million. Like in a fairy tale, when the wife of an old man, she was always asking for more wealth. And austerity may burn all this greed. You wouldn't be bewildered. I always say that the Lord gave us everything except enough. And austerity really helps us to control ourselves. It helps to live us by the Lord's will. One woman asked me a question. If a woman is over 50 and she is without husband and she wants to get married again, not for children, just but to follow a spiritual path, is it recommended for her to find a husband, or she have to choose austerity and just practice spirituality? If you're talking about the spiritual way, you have to rely on the Lord. To rely on the Lord, it means that it doesn't mean that you just have to sit and wait. It means that you are serving the Lord. You are spreading spiritual knowledge. And if you are spreading spiritual knowledge, you become famous. And of course, somebody would be attracted to you. It would happen naturally. And this question is solved like that. You shouldn't even think about it. You just continue serving the Lord. If you are choosing a spiritual life, you started not from finding a husband, but you started from engaging yourself in a spiritual activity. And the Lord would give you a suitable partner. If you would be trying just to attract men, some lusty person would come. And you would just continue your ordinary life. Second series of this TV series. It never would end. But if you chosen a spiritual life, you must be engaged in service. And your desires would be fulfilled by the Lord. A lot of people come to my course, and they are of different beliefs, and Baptists, Muslims, and Christians, Buddhists. And the question is, how can we combine different religions and not how to chant different mantras and not to betray your own religion. We recommend Maha Mantra to people who don't practice anything seriously, who are living with usual life, and they are not plunged into Muslim, into Christianity. We give them Maha Mantra. But if somebody is serious in Christianity, we don't suggest them other mantras if he follows his religion. The same thing with Christians. If they are serious, we shouldn't suggest them Maha Mantra. We are suggesting them some detailed knowledge about the absolute truth about soul. We may show Bhagavad Gita, we may tell some things which are described in Puranas about the Lord, maybe to give more knowledge. This is the only thing we give, and we may be combined in this knowledge. For example, in the family, a husband is Muslim, and the woman likes Maha Mantra and Vedic knowledge. For example, one girl is from a family of baptism, but she lacks Vedic knowledge. How to combine this religion without polluting the belief of the family? The peace would start when everyone will understand that the Lord is one. Religions are different, but the Lord is one. And then all problems will go away. So we should preach knowledge that the Lord is one. And the main thing is purity in relationship and tolerance. Guru Maharaj, our meeting is finishing. I have probably one of the last questions. You are practicing more than 30 years. You are engaging everything in service. You are following all laws and prescriptions. But what is austerity for you right now? What austerities do you have? Because whatever you do is already a habit for you. For me, austerity is to sleep and eat. Could you explain? I can't even understand it by myself. This is the time that we spend on eating and sleeping. Yes, it becomes impossible, just such a austerity. I was very lazy before practicing. I didn't like working. I forced myself to work, but actually I didn't have any tendency to work and to rise early, to follow any daily routine. I liked freedom, and I liked to rise when I what I liked. I was like a free artist, and I liked just contemplating, watching. My mother was talking that I was. My mother said that I put you on the street and you were standing all this time, and you were just standing and watching everything. I don't remember it, but my mother told me. I had such a character. I couldn't imagine that I would be busy all the time, always. That I would be always ready to do something. I was tired a little bit in the beginning, but some transformation happened. Modes changing. When the modes are changing, then you don't feel tired. When the mode is changing, you eat and sleep differently, you think differently. What was like a poison, now it's a nectar for you, and the opposite. What was a night for you, it's now a day. What you thought was a reality, now it's a night. If this is a transformation in modes, everything would be transformed inside of you also. So this is the practice. Maybe I never thought that what is austerity for me, but now I don't think I have any. For me, whole your life is austerity. I know that all your life is so busy. I heard that you don't want to waste your time on eating and sleeping.
Много времени свободного появляется в этот день. Гуру Махарадж, я вам настолько искренне признательна. Для меня всегда вот эти встречи как глоток воздуха.
And for me, such meetings are like a breath of fresh air. I'm happy that so many people are watching us. Could you say last words, instructions for those who are attending my courses and who are deciding to change their life, who decide to begin some austerity, some healthy austerity? Could you say something to the people who are loving you and listening to you? People who are beginning the spiritual path, I admire such people and a deep respect from the bottom of my heart. I want to embrace all of them and to thank all of them that they decided to change their life, because this is the good not only for you, this is good for all your families, for your nations, for your religion, for all your children and the children of their children. It's very important what you are doing. And my best blessings and wishes to you on this pure spiritual path. Chant the name of the Lord, spread names of the Lord. Thank you. Dear Guru Maharaj, we are congratulating you from your birthday, your forthcoming Vesa Puja. Thank you very much.